to the webinar this morning, and thank you for joining us. Today we have Greg Alberti with Shireen. He's the Director of Business Development and Sales, and he will be presenting the webinar this morning. If you have any questions, please input them in the question box, and Greg will answer them at the conclusion of the webinar. At this time, I'm going to let Greg take over, and I hope everybody enjoys.
Thank you, Crystal. Hello, everybody. My name is Greg Alberti. I'm with a small manufacturer here in Germantown, Maryland, Shireen Incorporated. I don't know if many of you heard of us. In the wireless industry, we do have our product trademarked in the cable division. And today I'm going to just give you some background on who Shireen is as a company and talk about some of our current products and I'm going to touch upon some future products too. Shireen Inc. Originally was established back in 2004, and we'll be celebrating our 10-year anniversary here this year. Clap, 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 clap. I hear everybody's clapping. But we are run as a very small organization. We're about 15 people. We have about 15 contracted engineers on site. We do develop our own products. We do engineer our own products right here in the USA. But we also utilize some offshore manufacturing to help us get some of our products done in massive quantities. So let me begin the presentation. I think I have this here. Yes. We have a cable products division where we have developed product in the category side, in the outdoor specific, where we have provided shielded direct burial and plenum for indoor. We also have an RF coax that is ours, and it is branded and engineered to compete against a very prominent name in the industry. But we also have a cable assembly business, which we supply custom cable assemblies for the carrier and telecom marketplace. Oop, I did what I thought I was going to do. Oh, there we go. There it is. I got it. On the amplification division, we do own our own patented technology, and we do make amplifiers from DC to 6 gig. We are working on additional frequencies now of upwards of 17 gigahertz for some specific military applications. We have an extensive product line that is and has been used in the field under the harshest conditions. We are a continual improvement company. We have installed improvement processes here in our facility in Germantown, Maryland. We do utilize the best technology that is on the market. We do a great deal of customization, specifically when it comes to some of the newer applications such as UAVs, robotics, and white space. The military also asks us to do some covert type of application customizations. We also do some engineering on our own with some of our partners to develop some products that they will develop on their own. That's just skipping twice. I wonder why. Crystal? Let's see.
I'm not sure. It shouldn't be doing that.
Okay, let's go back here. One more. Okay, I got it now. Don't worry. Here's some of the markets that we serve. Of course, the military and commercial. Some of the newer markets are the unmanned air vehicle and robotics, ground and air communications. We do some microwave interface with our components. We also do some telemetry. We work in the security and surveillance field, and a lot of R&D. We do up and down converters that people use for their research and development. Some of the more specific markets on the offshore, we've been involved in exploration both above and underwater, R&D, oil and gas. We do business in the telecom wired side, and of course the wireless and the cellular side. The major utilities have also reached out and asked us to help them with some of their concerns and needs for, I guess, mission critical or high critical components within their networks. We are also, and I forgot to mention up front, we're also involved with a solar business, and I'll touch upon that briefly here going forward. More importantly, and as Microcom is a very important partner of ours, the WISP business is a very large portion of our cable business. Our category cable has been tested, approved, commented on, and scrutinized by many of the WISPs and the WISP organization itself. We'll go through some of our current products and touch upon some future products here too in that cable division. We do have warehouses on both coasts. We are located, of course, in Washington, D.C. Metro. We have a harbor site warehouse in Baltimore, and we also have an intake harbor capable site in the Los Angeles Metro. With a combination of over 65 years of experience, like you can imagine that we have a lot of ideas floating around in our own organization, and sometimes it's a conglomeration of ideas that allows us to create some of the products that we do. There are a lot of smart brains here, and we try to develop a product that isn't something we think the market will use. It's something that we want and test in the market before we bring it to the market. We do have in-house level design, CAD drawings, and we work very closely with some OEM partners for private labeling and for their own product development. We do bring the capabilities of design all the way through final product to assembly and delivery. Again, I mentioned our OEM and partner relationship. We do, again, I bring this up, we do a great deal of customization. So a lot of our products as they are only specified because we've placed them out in the marketplace. Many of them never reach the marketplace as is. There's usually some customization done to them before they leave our facility. When it does come to some obsolete products in the marketplace, products that aren't even ours, we have always prided ourselves in taking care of our customers and trying to help them with outdated products and maybe revamping them or I guess renewing them so that they can continue to use them. We believe that we have a 5-star customer service here. If any of you've had experience with us, we hope that you've had a 5-star experience with us. If not, I'm looking forward to hear from you. It's very important that we maintain that because of anything in the industry. I guess being happy with a vendor is the most important part of it. We touched upon some of the military apps that we do. We do get involved with UAVs and drones for the military. We also get involved with UAVs, robotics, and drones on the commercial side. Here you'll see a list of some specialty type of bidirectional amplifiers. These amplifiers, again, touch on some frequency bands that you may or be able to immediately look at and say, hey, you know, I know what's going on in that band. Some of these are and pass through a licensed spectrum. Very recently, we have a brand new product that is the 7470. That's not on this list here, but if you recognize the 478 to 860 megahertz band, that is the recently released white space. We're working very closely with some of the manufacturers and OEMs in that space and allowing us to provide them with a specialty customized device that will enhance their product. There's an old company that's been around for a while that we sort of formulate our business after. If everybody remembers the old BASF motto, we don't make the product, we make it better. Basically, we uphold to that motto ourselves. So if you understand it, our products aren't the full product in itself, but we make that solution work better. A little bit more on the product overview. And I'm going to annotate this real quickly. We do make single band GSM and OFDM type repeaters that have been used, or excuse me, CDMA repeaters that are capable of being used in the cellular world. Very recently, the FCC has come down on the use of these repeaters. And in order for a manufacturer to continue to manufacture the repeaters, they must also file with the FCC. We did not go forward with that for various reasons. There are other manufacturers on the marketplace who make a product and make it very readily available to the public at a very inexpensive cost. In many instances, we know our product is not built at that commercial level, and the cost of our product exceeds the cost of that commercial grade device. We have decided and made a corporate decision not to go forward with a continualization of these cellular repeaters. However, on the picocell side, the small cell side, we have gained I'm going to say there's a velocity of interest happening today that we are involved with. Everything from 850 all the way to 24 megahertz. We are involved with GSM, of course, CDMA, 2G, 3G, 4G LTE, where we are connected to the BTS. And the enhancement that we provide can be, in many instances, anywhere from 3 to 4 times the coverage that the normal small cell can give. Now, not everybody can go out and do this. Not everybody should be doing this, because when you interfere with a macro, these frequencies are owned by the carrier. And when you apply our device to a small cell, you will normally have to have either an arrangement, an agreement with the carrier, or be in a very rural area where there are a non-interference occurrence with the macro. I'm going to table that because there are some very complicated technical issues that can occur. The big part of that, very clear, is that we are involved with major OEMs right now that are going to be supplying products to and dealing with major U.S. and international carriers. On the military side, I will show you this, but if you're not dealing with the military, you will not be able to purchase these. As you see, even in the 2.4, we make BDAs in the 20 watt and higher power output. We also provide OEM level boards. This is just a small example of what we do. On the telecom side, we've been involved with them with some of our components where we've made duplexers and DC blocks and power splitters. More recently, and part of that industry is still relying on remote electrical down tilt. This technology is being changed dramatically with software applications, but it's also something that the DAS and IBS in-building systems have utilized a specific formula within their antennas that allow for multiple carriers to transmit through. We're working closely with an antenna manufacturer right now trying to develop additional products that will take us also into that future with the antenna technology. On the Wi-Fi and commercial side, we do bidirectional amplifiers. Everybody, if you've been in the industry for a while, you're very familiar with that the original radios with their very low power readily would absorb a bidirectional amplifier into their system. Today, not so much with the high-powered devices and the MIMO applications that are out there. However, we still make these products, we still have applications for these products, and we still sell a whole lot of bidirectional amplifiers both in the U.S. and internationally. On the solar power side, we have an energy division. We can do anything through a simple megawatt all the way to a 100 megawatt type of power plant. Now, if anybody's familiar with solar and what's going on, this is an opportunity that if you look at how these plants are implemented, there's a large investment, number one, of land and resources, but it's also costly. The turnaround or the total cost of investment and return on investment is something that is analyzed very closely. As of yesterday, one of the largest deployments has been done by NRG out in Arizona, and it is I believe it's 300 megawatt system that can provide a city of about somewhere close to 250,000 homes of power. This original presentation was to determine and to work with everyone just in a complete understanding the difference between Cat 5e and Cat 6 and why to choose one over the other. Microcom is a major stocking distributor of our cables. Many of the questions that come back again and again is why would I want one over the other? Cat 5e actually is certified for gigabit. It is certified for gigabit at a 300-foot distance. Cat 6 is certified for 10 gigabit at a 100-foot distance. The idea here is that Cat 5 is an excellent cable and it is cost effective. When you are looking at a network that is based on a Gig E network, is the best thing you could do is future-proof your network with Cat 6. Now, of course, there are other Cat 6 models out there like Cat 6A, and there's been a lot of discussion on Cat 7. Until I can see that there are, I guess, radios in this industry to be able to handle 10 gigabyte of bandwidth and throughput, I wouldn't suggest jumping on those boats yet, but clearly Cat 6 is a future-proofing way that you can protect your network. A lot of people don't know what this cable is, and I don't know that I can get an answer back from anybody here, but I'm just going to tell you what it is. It's actually a Cat 5e. It is FTP, foil twisted pair. It has a drain wire, the wire on the top, and it has a ripcord, which will tear that foil for you appropriately and evenly. But the wire on the bottom, that's a messenger wire. Now, when somebody asked me what a messenger wire was, it really doesn't send a message, but it does hold the wire. In many deployments today in the cable industry, the cable codes, they are dropping wire from telephone pole to houses. And if you're going to drop Ethernet at that distance, anywhere from 50 to 100 feet, you need something to be able to support it. That cable right there is our DC 1023. It's a Cat 5e, shielded with messenger. Now, other people have taken this a step further. They have used this cable and have taken that wire and have used it as a separate ground. I thought that was a little ingenious, but it is something that you may want to look at in specific applications where you need an additional ground or a hardwired ground to a product on an end, such as a camera or even a network switch. Again, this is our cable, and our cable is fully identified on the jacket. You will see it will have all certifications. It will have the UL listing. It will also have our part number. This is our Cat 6 shielded. A lot of people wonder what that plastic piece is in the middle. That plastic piece keeps these twisted pair wires separate through the cable. This avoids crosstalk, and the avoidance of crosstalk at a higher bandwidth, it becomes very important. It also becomes very important when you're in a network where you do have other wires that are potentially providing some electronic interference. This cable right here is our infamous DC 1021. This is our Cat 5 shielded twisted pair. This cable has, I guess, of any other cable, is what has branded the Shireen name in the wireless ISP marketplace. We have been compared against some of the major brands. Now, the comparisons, of course, usually come down to one single factor, and that's cost. I think that cost is important. The cost has itself many diminishing returns if it's not a quality cable. I can't speak to this more importantly than the market itself. If you get the opportunity, check any of the list form boards, check any of the manufacturer's boards and search for Shireen. More than likely, this cable, DC 1021, will come up on the screen, and you'll get an opinion that's not coming from someone in sales. I guess, again, this was specifically trying to determine some differences between Cat 5 and Cat 6. One of the important things to keep in mind is that Cat 6 is backwards compatible. So should your network not be at that full gigabit, I guess, bandwidth capability, there should not be any worry that you would have by installing Cat 6 in the network itself. Again, you're looking at the type of impedance on the cables. You look at the return loss that is better, and you also look at the actual speeds that are pushed through the cable. These are all benefits that a Cat 6 will bring to a network, no matter what manufacturer you use. One of the biggest things that we always run into are something that is the most smallest part of any network. Though we always consider the cable to be the veins of the network, the, I guess, end sensors of the network are the connectors. Now, a lot of people will talk about that there shouldn't be a difference in the two, but there are. And they are readily visible as to what the differences are. Number one is that Cat 5, our Cat 5 is 24 AWG, and that is American Wire Guide. That is the size of the cable, of the copper, the solid copper. The size of our Cat 6 is 23 AWG. With that being said, the 23 AWG cannot be installed in a normal connector side by side, where you look at the connector. If you look into a plastic Cat5e connector, all 8 of the wires are seen in one single line. In a Cat6, you'll only see 4. Why? Because the other 4 are underneath it. So they are separated that way because of their size. There are manufacturers out who state that Cat6 can be 24 AWG. I can't specifically, technically speak to how that is done, but when a manufacturer says it, I'm sure they have some way of backing it up. Again, ours is 23. This is in the way here a little bit, but that's okay. Customers can't fit the connectors because we seem to have sold them the wrong connector. And if you don't have them properly labeled, and that's one of the issues being in the field, a field personnel can simply grab into the box and grab a Cat5 connector while being on a tower and try to assemble that onto a Cat6 line and have some difficulty. As for the other, let's see, how to connect, can't remember what that is that there is a difference between the two. Proper labeling is important. It is impossible to put, which we also make our own connectors, it is impossible to put our Cat6 into a Cat5 connector. You'll find it impossible. We also make a plenum cable, and many people don't quite understand what plenum is. The plenum space it's a place in a house or a business the communications cables usually run. It can provide for a problem should there be a fire. Plenum rated cables are low smoke capabilities, so they're basically fire retardant. And being in that area, the area of a plenum is an area that air is typically circulated through, and cables are allowed to be run if they're properly rated. We do make a Cat5 and a Cat6 for indoor installation. We do have a new product out. It is our DC1042. And I don't know that anyone has experienced our DC1030, which is gel tape but not shielded. We now have our new dry gel tape Cat5 shielded. A lot of people have asked us for this. There's 2 schools of thought here, is that gel filled versus gel tape. You've got a group of people that wouldn't want it any other way than to have all that icky pick all over their hands, knowing that that cable is filled with a water preventative device. Other people understand that technology has changed and that this dry gel tape technology itself instantly becomes a gel when H2O is applied. So this is a product that we have tested in the field and is now readily available for delivery. We do, of course, I mentioned earlier that there is a group of coaxial products that we provide, both in bulk, spool, and in custom assemblies. Again, we have engineered this product ourselves to compete against major named manufacturers, and the specs are available for you to size them up. Let's see. This was a simple quote that came off of one of the industry-leading forums, and the barrier of obsolescence is the point where the functionality of copper-based communications cabling can no longer deliver the required speeds of the network. I'm not exactly sure that this is truly going to happen in the near future, maybe not even my lifetime, but we are approaching and rapidly approaching the speeds that copper formerly will not be able to get to. And we're already, and many of you are out there already installing fiber in cases where you're trying to future-proof both your network and the towers. We have developed a new product. It is in a testing mode, and if there is anyone on this call who would like to, I guess, look at this cable closely, we would be more than willing to provide samples to you so that you can do an actual test. Our product is a Siamese 1021. On the right side, there's two single-mode fiber cables that are wrapped in a Kevlar protection. It is an outdoor Siamese cable. On the left-hand side is our infamous 1021 shielded Cat5. A lot of people have asked what this will do because number one is Cat5 is limited in its length, but it will provide for PoE and out-of-band management while traffic and data can be sent over the fiber. Many of our partners who are looking at this are OEM backhaul partners. There is a relevance to this. It does allow for one single cable to be run. It's a high-quality glass that we, again, made sure that it was comparable to a major manufacturer here in the USA. So again, I'll repeat, if anybody would like to look at this in a sample length, please get a hold of, I guess, your Microcom rep, and we'll get a sample piece out to you. Folks, I guess that's the end of it. If we have any questions, here's my contact. Please feel free to either contact your Microcom rep or directly, and I will make sure that your question is answered. Crystal.
All right, Greg. That was fantastic. Thank you. I do have a few questions for you. First question is, what is your best-selling product and why?
Our best-selling product on the cable side is our DC 1021. Our most abundant product are cable assemblies, and we make quite a bit of cable assemblies both for OEMs and for the automotive industry. Again, okay. DC 1021 is our most popular.
Perfect. Okay, one more question. You mentioned customization. Can you give an example of how you would customize?
Well, when it comes to customization of, let's say, bidirectional amps, when you're working very closely with an OEM, it's very important that we understand some linearity issues. What are the side channels? Are there guard channels required? And in doing so, we have to add specific components into the BDA so that we can meet those features and or specs that the OEM is providing to the marketplace. On a commercial side, or even a public safety side, we manufacture one of what we still consider the world's smallest amp, bidirectional amplifier. We have an OEM amplifier that's about 3/4 of an inch by 1.5 or 1 3/4 of an inch, the size of a PCB board. The actual SMA connectors on the end are more bulkier than anything on the board. This is a 2-watt amp. When applied to such applications as UAVs, robotics, even surveillance equipment, you can install these into an actual enclosure. We've had UAV manufacturers install them in fixed wings. We've had robotics manufacturers install them into platforms on a submarine. So I guess the customization It can come from a frequency. It can come from sideband, linearization, anything that has to do with the bidirectional or linear capabilities of an amplifier.
All right. That wraps up the questions. I'd like to thank everybody for attending the webinar. I hope you all found it very informative. Thank you, Greg, with Shireen, for taking the time out of your day to educate us on this great line of products. If anybody has any additional questions, feel free to contact us at sales@microcomtech.com. Or if you wish to view any of the products mentioned here, you can visit us at www.microcom.us or contact your salesperson. This webinar will also be posted on Microcom Technology's YouTube channel for later review. I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you.